Well, bonjour, mon ami. So about six weeks, maybe 8 weeks before I leave for France. Really going to be a fun trip, so I hope you'll just tune in to that. I wanted to take a few seconds to talk about a thing called plantar fasciitis. I've gotten a few questions on that, and it's really common, and it's more common if you do it in long distance hiking than just short walks. But I thought I'd spend a couple minutes talking about that. I'm not a podiatrist. I'm just going to tell you what I do for myself and what's worked for me, and whatever you want to do, that's what you want to do. So a good question is, what causes plantar fasciitis? We still don't know. But to make it basic, it's an irritation of the plantar fascia. What's the plantar fascia? The plantar fascia is basically what keeps your arch of your foot in an arch. So otherwise it would just go flat. So there's a little band there that's under a lot of tension, you can imagine. And if you spend 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 steps doing this with it, you can imagine there are times it gets cranky. So a couple things that I think are just basic for it. One is orthotics. Orthotics are just basically a piece of material that you slip in between your shoe and your foot. Now it's designed to kind of support your arch, and these are I got these from a place called Fithotics in Portland, Oregon, and I've got a couple thousand miles on these, and they last a long time. You could buy there's a Dr. Scholl's plantar fasciitis. That would probably work fine for most folks. With a custom orthotics, what goes on is that they ship you a foam box, well, two. And you stand in the foam box that makes a perfect outline of your foot. Then you mail that box back to them. A couple weeks later, you get your orthotics back. So it's a little bit more custom. If some people have strange contours to their feet that Dr. Scholl's wouldn't address. So I like them. They work great. They last for darn near ever. I've got 4 or 5 pairs, and they just last thousands of miles. So there's a thought in athletics that you should be able to do barefoot running or barefoot hiking. You know, you see the 10 toe just Vibram soles. And that's probably true if you were born and raised without shoes, but most people in America have worn shoes their entire life. So you can walk barefoot once your feet are strong, but most people's feet are not strong, and that takes a lot of effort. And if you want to get out there and start doing things and not wait a year while you do foot exercises, orthotics work well. So the first tenet that I would say that I do is that I never walk without orthotics. Again, once your feet get strong, you can do it. But for me, I don't even bother at this point. I'm not, at 69, I'm not about to go out and go against things that already work. Don't try to mess with success is my main motto. So on the subject of orthotics, there are 2 arches, not just one like everybody thinks. So the foot has 2 arches. One we all think about, which is right down here, but there's a second arch, and that's this arch here. That's called the metatarsal arch, and that's supposed to maintain that. If it goes flat, that can cause pain, and that's thought to possibly be one of the reasons for a thing called Morton's neuroma. So one of the arches is covered by this, which will prop your foot up a little bit, and the other arch is covered by the metatarsal arch. So I bought these on Amazon. I think they're made in Germany, and they're super durable, and I'll leave a link to those below in the description. The trick to the metatarsal arch is the placement of it. It's got to be placed pretty precisely, and these come with a real sticky pad that once you peel off plastic, once it's stuck, it's pretty stuck. So what I do first is I'll just use Scotch tape, and then I'll put it in my shoe and then walk around on it. And I'll think, well, it's got to come back about 1/8 of an inch. So then I'll take out the tape and pull it back. And once I get it to feel like it's perfect, then I'll take and outline this with a felt tip pin, take off the tape, and then I'll just stick it down permanently to it. So one of the basic tenets, if your plantar fascia is bothering you at the moment, don't walk barefoot. Just always have something underneath your foot that's just giving it support. Again, it's fine once your feet are not in a plantar fasciitis mode, But until then, always put a orthotic between you and your foot. And I even put these in my house slippers too. So I bought an extra pair of orthotics, not these, but the plain old Dr. Scholl, and I use those in my house slippers. So I never try to walk barefoot if my feet are bothering me. And really, my feet have been good for years now. Once in a while I get a twinge, but not like it was when I first started to get it 10 years ago. So the second tenet is rolling your feet. So the plantar fascia should be nice and flexible, should be nice and long. It's not tight like a guitar string. So one of it is to roll your feet. I use a thing called a trigger point. It's kind of worn out because I use it. Super light, maybe an ounce. They make these in cork too, and you see it in a lot of backpacking videos. I've taken it with me a few times on backpacking trips. I really don't use it. As I say, I really don't have any problems with my plantar fascia now. But I've been known to pop it out here and there. Some people will freeze a water bottle and they'll roll that. I've never really done that. If you're having active plantar fascia pain, that's probably not a bad idea. But for me, the ball has worked fine. But if you're on a backpacking trip and you do have ongoing plantar fascia, it's probably a good idea to roll your feet each night when you're done for the day, and then don't walk around barefoot. So the second part of rolling your feet is when you get out of bed, don't just stand up. Warm up the plantar fascia first. There are a couple ways to do that. One is people, when they lay in bed, they might have a towel that they'll put under their toes and kind of gently pull that. And the word is gently. You're not trying to jam this. You want to. The point is to do this really slowly. So what I use is a thing called rubs, and I'll leave a link for this down below. And I just roll my arch under that. So I'll roll the right foot and then roll the left foot. Like a minute. And once the bottom of my feet are warm and they're kind of lengthened, then I'll step into my house shoes with the Dr. Scholl's orthotic. Now, when you sleep, what was a nice long arch kind of contracts during the night. So what you don't want to do is to just step on that and go like that. That's guaranteed to make it last longer. So it's here. You want to gently bring it back out to where it's elongated again and loose. That will for sure lessen the amount of time that you're going to suffer with it, for me. So if you're in a tent and you wake up, it's kind of hard to roll your feet out on these in a tent. And they're not light either. It's about 6 ounces. So what I do is I typically just massage the bottom of my feet. So when I wake up, I'll just start to massage my feet and stretch my feet. I'm just looking to rub all along the plantar fascia and rub in back where it's tight. You give it little bits of twist, pulling here to feel this stretch, pulling it here to feel this stretch, gently. If anything hurts in this, stop. So I've gotten out of the tent, I've got my shoes on. What I do is I walk lightly for a while. I just don't do jumping jacks. So you want to just slowly let that arch come back out to not shock it. So before I walk, I'll do some gentle stretches using my trekking poles to kind of further to stretch that out before I put my backpack on. And I'll show you how I do that. So when I'm about ready to put my backpack on, I'll basically do some lunges with my trekking poles. So I just want to feel this part stretch. I also want to feel it stretch right up in here too. Then kind of just do it with the other side. Again, it shouldn't hurt. Again, it should be gentle, slow. So when I feel I'm all stretched out, I'll put my backpack on and we're ready to go. So I occasionally do get some plantar fasciitis right by my right heel. When I get that, I'll use a thing called KT tape. Now they make lots of different it's a sports tape. I think there's rock tape too. Anyway, it's like this. It's a tape that will stretch when you put it on. There are plenty of YouTube videos that show how to tape plantar fasciitis. The way I do it is just basically like this. Just so I have my piece of KT tape. I'm just basically looking to put a stirrup here that will cover the back part of this part of my plantar fascia. So it is a learning curve to learn how to use KT tape too. I tried to teach several people, and it just takes several times to practice it. So what I do is I come along here, place one right on this part. Now, if you've got pain up in here, you can kind of move this up a little bit, but I'll use one or two. So one is here, and then I'll use the second one to go right in front of that. So I've got these two. So I did a similar video many years ago that might have more links and a deeper description of stuff. I'll leave a link for that right up here. So next, I bought a new toy called the Insta360 X3 360 camera. It has a steep learning curve, and I'll do a quick video on that before I leave to France. And also I'll go over what I think my backpack will have on that trip. There are probably 500 what's in my Camino backpack videos. Lots of fun. And I hope all this helps somebody. And we'll see you out in the trail. Bye-bye.